think running a day spa is all massages and relaxation? There is nothing relaxing about owning a day spa, but we're here to help. Serious spa owners know that being in the spa business isn't for the weak. It takes hard work, planning, and just a bit of luck. We should know because we've owned a successful day spa for over 20 years. Now we're opening up our playbooks and giving you the business insights to run your day spa rather than letting it run you. This is a Spapreneur podcast with Lynn Graves and Ramona Rice.
Sassy. You remember I took my big girl panties off because I was tired of wearing them? Well, I had to put them back on.
Oh, no. Why?
Because we've been having a heat wave through this area, and my air conditioner, I have 4 air conditioning units, okay? One per 1,000 square feet. One of them went out 2.5 weeks ago. And it took a week for them just to get permission to go ahead and fix the bloody thing because my landlord was taking too much time. And then they got the part in, and that part had a hole in it. So then they had to come back the next day, and they put a part in, and that night it started leaking all over the place. So then they had to come back the next day. I'm like, really? Can we not? I'm telling you, May was just miserable.
May massacre.
Yes, it felt that way. It really did because it was stupid.
May massacre.
We now finally have it, but the sun hits right on the back of the building and is roasting in those rooms.
We have menopausal women.
Well, no, even the young girls were like, it's too hot in the room. So we put them in for an hour and then pull them out.
It's just...
So, see, I'm a business owner. I have to figure out how to run it.
And we are the Spapreneurs. This is Spapreneur Podcast. I am Ramona Rice.
Lynn Graves.
This is episode 47.
Wow.
Yes. We're
going to become old women doing this.
Old women. But Ceci, here's the deal. When something like that happens, where you have like a malfunction like that, or, like I, for example, just had Spapreneur.com just completely get like down for 7 days.
You had a total meltdown on that.
Let me tell you guys right now, I'm going to flat out call them out. HostGator, you fucking suck. Never use HostGator. I've used them for years, and all of a sudden, arbitrarily, they decided to change something called an A record. Please don't make me explain it. It's how the domain gets pointed to the place where the website lives, okay?
Right.
So they decide to change it. And then they decided to change my email on arbitrary. So guess what? GoDaddy now has all my domains.
GoDaddy.
Yeah.
GoDaddy.
Podcast websites is still awesome. They did nothing wrong. And they're the ones who kept me calm. And they're like, it's okay.
And that was not good.
And that was during
service.
the royal wedding, and they're British. Like one of them's wife was actually hosting. He goes, bloody hell, she's hosting. She's making me watch this damn thing and hosting it. I'm like, how are you liking your overlords? Her dress was beautiful, by the way.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved the whole
thing
ceremony.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
But okay, when things get out of control, how do you find the time to because it completely derails your day?
It does derail your day, and you got to know that you're going to have things like that happen. Now, I've had things like this happen enough times that they can say, Lynn, there's water coming down the wall. I know immediately what's wrong.
Air conditioning.
Yeah.
You know why? Because, all right, I love Fred, but in our old unit, do you not remember like how many times we had to get that air conditioner fixed?
No, the water fell and tiles fell on top of clients laying on the table. I'm like,
it was Michelle's room.
Really?
It was the ocean room.
Oh my God. Come on. So yeah. And you know what? You just deal. If you don't know, if something like that happens, the first thing I did was I reached out to someone that understood mechanical better than I did when it came to that kind of system. This is what's going on. What do you think I should do? So they would say, okay, you need an air conditioning person. This is probably what's wrong, because I don't want them coming in like a used car salesman and selling me something that is not necessarily necessary. I need this shit fixed so I don't have to deal with it again.
Yeah. As business owners, sometimes it's important to keep the manuals and read them when equipment fails.
Oh my God. I've got a notebook that I just put all manuals into. Now, on an HVAC system like that, you don't get manuals. Yeah. So you, as a business owner, when you're leasing, you should have known up front, who do I call? Where do I go to? Because it's going to happen. Heat, air conditioning, electrical, plumbing, these things are going to happen. And whose responsibility is?
And who gets to pick the provider? That's also really
That's
important in
right.
that lease, because you know what? If you're responsible for the repairs, you should be able to pick the provider.
Now, I will throw this out there. That's not really what we're going to talk about, but when you do your lease, it used to be that on the HVAC, which is common, that cost is supposed to be borne by me. But my husband, being smart enough, put a cap on it of $250, saying anything above this is not our responsibility. That is the business owner, the landlord's responsibility.
Yeah.
So that's a little tidbit for you.
So
the way I find time to deal with these things is, let's say I had all my clients still coming into me. There were times I had to say to the client and call them quickly saying, I have to cancel you today. This is what's going on. I am so sorry to do this to you at the last minute. So I'm going to move you to next week. I hope that's okay. If they get a little fussy with me, I'll say, I know you wanted to come see me. I'm going to give you a discount next week for this inconvenience. So sometimes you got to know your clients before you do this.
right.
That's how I had to create my time to do some of these things.
Right. But it's not just creating time like for these kind of emergencies. I think like we definitely talked about it in the episode before 46, but I don't think a lot of, and this is when you make the choice to be a business owner, I don't think a lot of people understand when we mean business owner, it means you dedicate time in your schedule to actually do business things. Like again, maintenance, making sure things are
You have to change the filters out in your units so that they don't get clogged up and freeze up the pipes.
Like calling an exterminator for regular, spraying if you're near a restaurant or just
or
gross
unless
things.
you have a linen service that delivers your linens in paper, and if you have that, you tell them to change it to plastic, or you change vendors, because those carry little German cockroach eggs, and we had roaches all throughout our building at one point. During Valentine's, one ran across a client on the sheet. The therapist saw it. The client didn't. She about had a meltdown.
Thank God the client didn't see it. Could you imagine?
I don't want to discuss it.
Because here's the thing. Our job on Valentine's Day is to get her or him warmed up for boom boom later in their private house.
Well,
there would have been no boom boom.
We have boom boom all right. Tina boom boomed emotionally after the whole thing and had a meltdown.
I'm sorry. You would have too.
No, this is a little tiny one. I was okay. It's the big flying ones that I freak out on. I had to deal with that another time when they were doing construction next door. See, these are the things that happen. They were doing construction, taking down woods. And where do you think the wood roaches that are big and fly went to? Our building. And as our pedicurist was doing a pedicure, one of them went right across the floor. And Naomi said, I just took a towel and went bloop and pretended like I didn't see it. She said, and I almost came and got you, Lynn. And I laughed and said, well, good for you, because I wouldn't have done shit. I would have run the other way, and you would have had to gone and gotten Henry.
This is why we have Henry.
But I needed an exterminator. So when do you have the exterminator come in and spray? When do you do these things?
You've got to set time. So this is the thing. I need you guys to stop thinking of your schedules just in terms of appointments.
Yeah, no, it's so much more than that.
I guarantee you. And then I can hear the whining now. Ramona and Lynn, Ceci, I don't have time. My clients, bullshit. Tighten up your appointment schedule.
First of all, tighten it up. Raise them all by $5. Drop a few and make that damn time.
Make the time, God damn it.
Or if you can find time, raise them by $5 and say, I'm doing education and buy into the 6 Pillars program.
Yeah.
People go for $5. We're completely off topic, but people go for $5.
No, because this is the thing. Like, the second our therapists tighten up their time, guess what? They get full books.
Oh, they do. I got to say, tightening up schedules is important. But this one client can only come in at night.
Well, then tough. They'll
then
learn
they
to
need to revamp their schedule and figure it out. Because other clients will come to you during those set times. I'm not a nighttime person.
Yeah.
I don't like evenings. The only person I work on is Buddy on Mondays, but I've done it for so long.
For many, many years. Ceci, and she still does it. She never worked Fridays, and she didn't work Saturdays.
No, even when I was in sales. I don't. And nor Sundays. I don't do it.
Yeah.
No.
And it took me forever to convince her we need to have Saturday hours. No one comes in Saturday. I'm like, no, you don't come in on Saturdays, but clients.
And then we open up on Sundays, and that's fine, and it's all working, but I'm not there because that's not my energy. But I work on Buddy in the evening because I'm so used to it now. I miss it when I'm not there. That's sort of my downtime.
Right.
But you have to set those times up and squish them in and make the clients come to you. If you're good enough, those clients will find the time. They'll whine, bitch, squeal. That's for the next episode. We will be talking about bitchy clients.
Oh my God.
No, I don't even want to get started
May
on
massacre.
it. So when we did that with Henry, because he's so giving and so wonderful.
First off, the first thing we did was we took him off Saturdays because he did not need to be on Saturdays.
No, he didn't. And he was a stay-at-home father at the time. And let me say for him that he raised a daughter that
Gone to Yale.
Went, not only graduated with honors from Yale with 2 degrees, had 2 other Ivy League schools after her. And yes, she's smart, but he was a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
So we revamped it around her schedule.
Right. So if you're a business owner of independent contractors, you need to work with them because they'll stay so loyal to you.
But let me
doing
say
that.
this. This is what it created. He's good. Okay.
Yeah.
I've already told you. It's like having
It is
sex without penetration.
It's so good.
However, I've got others that do the same thing for me. But when we did that, it made her more desirable because people couldn't get in quite as easily. And he must be really good. And but I want Henry, and see, it creates this interesting little vortex that all of a sudden people are like, but I want to get in. I'll take off my lunchtime and come in.
You know what? They want to be part of the club.
Yeah,
they want to be able to
that's
say.
So true. And we've done this with other therapists.
Jen the same way.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you tighten up that schedule, it's amazing. So that's the first thing to find time.
And it is scary, but don't think you're going to fail. No, you're going to succeed.
So, like, if Ceci were, wanting to do a full schedule again, the way I would have her schedule would be, honestly, is that her business hours would be, like, for her working on her business would be, like, around 8:30 to 9:30, and her first appointment would be 10 o'clock.
Yes.
So she would have that hour to do some business stuff.
Yes.
And then she would do massages.
Actually, weirdly, I would actually, because I'm a morning person, so you morning people listen to me. I would do my business between 8:30 and 9 until about 11:30. Grab some lunch, and then I'm going to do my massages in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Because this sounds wrong, but it's so true. It doesn't take me brain power to do my massages. It takes my intent, my love, my education, but it doesn't take my synapses burning. It takes my muscles and listening skills. See, by then I'm tired, so I'm more in the mood to listen and not talk.
Sure. We have another therapist, Michelle. She is not a morning person.
She's not a morning person.
No. No. She went to Japan one time with her husband, and it took her. We kept telling her, like, no, you go home, you get rest before you come back here, because she's not a morning person.
So she has, since she's been with me, started at 12:30 and works to 8.
Yeah. And it works for her. So everybody's different. So number one, understand your own rhythm. I have to be a morning person right now because of my children.
She's really not. We all look at her door and the kids are like, what do you think? Should we knock on the door? Yeah. I don't know.
Lately I've been waking up naturally at 6 a.m. I think it's the diet. I think it's the healthy eating because I'm going to bed earlier.
It could be.
Which is good.
But she's not naturally, and neither is Addison, my granddaughter. She's not a morning person. She's a snuggly, want to stay wrapped up in the
My
cocoon.
late husband used to go, she's a sleepy do.
Yeah, she is a sleepy do.
Yeah.
And she'd rather stay up late.
But Anderson is like, no.
He doesn't need sleep. I don't understand. Yeah.
So, but that's what I mean. Understand that. So tighten up that schedule.
You need to know yourself.
Yeah. And don't try to fight it. I love this podcast by the book. Ceci didn't like it as much, but they did this one book.
No, there's some of the episodes I like because they're funny, and some of the books they introduced are like
interesting.
Yeah, they are, and I wouldn't have tried it.
There's one that they did called The Miracle Morning, and by your pal Hal. It's actually a pretty famous person in the online space. Like I know him through association, because of the people I know. Anyway, his whole thing is like everybody needs to wake up like 5 a.m. and do this, and I'm like, fuck you.
No, I'm a morning person. I'm not getting up at 5.
Like, he wants
I
you
get
to
up
do all
at
these
5
things
to go pee and get back in bed.
It's all these things. You know who wants these long morning routines? Is usually white men who don't have children.
Possibly.
It's true.
I'm not doing it.
So again, so like for me, my work schedule Spapreneur is in the morning time. Honestly, I'll check, like, I have daily tasks. I use a program called Asana to do my daily task. I do my banking in the morning. I check in the community. I check my email. I do a couple other things. And then I get up to get the kids ready for school, which they're pretty much on autopilot at this point. And then once I drop them off school, that's when my workday begins. So about 9 o'clock. Right. And that's when my workday begins.
So that's her rhythm. You got to find your rhythm and where you work best, and not this is where you don't cater to the client.
No.
This is where you pack the client into what you need because you can more fully serve them, because nothing's worse than being in a session with a client and thinking, damn, I forgot to do blah, blah, blah. And this was important for me to do.
Right. The other thing to help you manage your schedule is you've got to have a system to write it down. For me, I use notes on my phone, and I use Asana. That's the one thing that I like to use. Asana is a free project manager program. You can choose to use what Seth used to do. She would have business cards, and she would write shit down.
No, I've got a yellow steno pad and a pen, and
But
that works very well for me.
But that works for her.
Because as I'm driving, I'm doing the writing text, like writing it down furiously. And
we don't recommend you do that.
No, I will tell you, honestly, there were times where the business was changing up some. I would bring that pad and paper into the room and have a table just close enough, keep one hand on the client and write notes as I thought them, because that's my quiet time. So my mind would remember things. I'd reach over real quick and write it. They didn't know. It's kind of like grabbing a drink of water while you're working on a client.
That's true. If you're really good, they don't know. So that's the other thing, is making sure you have a place for your project, making sure that it syncs with your calendar. You've got to have a calendar, and you have to share it with the people that are supporting you. So for a while there, because we were co-parenting my children, we have the rice and gravy calendar.
Yes.
And anything that involves those children, or when we need one or the other to do something with the children, goes in that calendar.
Yes. So what we're saying is you need structure. You need business structure. You need to take that time out and create that time for yourself. And this goes in tune with the last podcast. Are you a business owner or are you a worker? If you're a business owner, you need to plan your business.
And you have to plan it yourself. You can get help with it, but you have to plan it yourself. An employee, guess what happens? The boss gives them the schedule.
Yes.
And there's the difference.
And every now and then I sit down with girls and I tell them, I don't want to be the boss anymore. And somebody else got to make the decision because I'm not doing it. And they all go, no way. We're not doing it.
Okay. But if you get a point like that, that's when you hire a lyric.
Well, I have lyric. There's just times when this May massacre was, my big girl panties have a lot of holes in them now.
Yeah.
They're worn out.
Another optional thing you can do too is nothing says you have to massage 5 days a week. You can take a day and you can say, this is my business day, and get a lot of business tasks done.
Yes.
You can do that.
And that's what I chose to do. You need to stop walking in fear of failing and listen to the roadmap and the advice and know you're going to succeed. You have to make that switch. Once again, are you a business owner or are you an employee? A business owner will make that switch and say, this is the plan. This is the roadmap. This is what I'm going to do. And this is what I'm going to follow. And I'm telling you, people, the clients whine, cry. And I talked about this in a few podcasts a while back. Katrina, I love Trina. She was, I knew when she came to work for me that she was a young black woman who had retired from the military. She wanted to learn massage, and then she wanted to open her own business. And she had conveyed this to me. I said, great, I will mentor you. Sure. There's plenty of room. Just don't steal my therapist and don't open up within a mile of my place. I want to do this with you. And we did. The problem was she didn't structure the time and stand up to the clients and say, I cannot work on you. I must plan my business, and I must work it as a business. She couldn't get out of the therapist mode.
Yeah.
And that failed her business.
Yeah. And a large part of it is, number one, because you're afraid you're going to lose money. But if you follow rule number one, which is don't fuck with the money.
Yeah, don't fuck with money. But
you're going to know what your money is. So you're going to know, number one, if you need to raise your prices, you're going to know.
When we say you're scared you're going to lose money means that you're scared you're going to lose the client. Let the client go. If they can't figure it out, you're not good enough for them.
Yeah, because
okay?
they're there for other reasons, not because of you.
Yeah, just move on. Find another client. There are other clients out there, folks.
Yes, go find one.
Yes, stand on the street in your bikini. It's summertime.
Yeah, if you're having problems with this, a great book is, again, Mike Michalowicz's The Pumpkin Plan. I love this book for people who are fearful of getting a client. Like, again, I've had to get rid of a private client who was not serving me. They didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. It's just not the right fit for where I want to be in my career. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I want to grow my big, giant Spapreneur pumpkin. So I've got to get all of the distractions. Another good exercise, I read this about Warren Buffett one time. He told his private pilot, about goals and things like that. And he said, look, write down the 25 things you want to achieve. And then pick the 5 most important. Then forget about the other 20.
Oh, that's nice. Now, I play this game with myself sometimes. You know, the lottery's always out there, and it gets up into the millions and millions, and I think to myself, oh, my God, what would I do if I had this lottery? And I start listing all the things. I would buy a bigger house. I would get another car. I would buy my children safer cars. I would give to charity. I would grow my business. But as I kept thinking about all those things, I realized in a smaller scale, I had all those things. I already had that. I'd already won the lottery because I had a business that supported me and I was moving forward with it. So you can have this.
You didn't win the lottery. You earned the lottery. You worked hard and you
a big
earned
difference.
the lottery. And that's why I like people who win lotteries. You just blow through the money.
Yes.
Yes. So what we're saying here, guys, is
I still play the lottery, though.
Well, that's just stupid not to when it gets $1 gazillion. You know, all of us $1 and C. You never know. I won't do more than that, though. But here's the deal, guys. You can find the time to invest in yourself. You can find the money to invest in yourself. You have to make the choice to do so. None of us can tell you otherwise. You have to do that. You have to be the one to actually
Someone's got to do it. If it's not going to be you, then who's it going to be?
It might be your competitor down the street.
Yeah, someone's got to do it. We can't just run these haphazard little hole-in-the-wall places and expect them to succeed.
Yeah, seriously. If you want to, again, choose.
You know what? I've not said this, but Chicago Beth really fascinates me because she's one of the original 6 Pillar Girls.
Yes.
And she's successful. She stands up for what she believes in. She plans her business out. She has a shop open in a very high-end, very expensive area. And folks, she does relaxation massages.
That's all she does. That's it.
And that is fascinating to me because she found who she is. She created the moment and the time. She takes time out to go get her education and to plan her business out.
And to get her tattoos when she wants to.
And to get her tattoos when she wants to. I'm fascinated with her. And yet she still reached out to us to learn more.
Yeah.
And to help her define it even more. And isn't she the one that's hiring another person?
Yep.
Good for her.
Yep. And all of them. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just a matter of, again, making choices. And she had to take time out of her schedule to invest in that training program. Or, a lot of them, like Denise in 6 Pillars, she had to take time, and she's a single mom. And,
her life was up and down, scattered everywhere.
Yeah, I'm so proud of her because
she,
she's able to take continuing education. She's able to do all these things because she's focused and she's ready to go.
And the one who left Massage Envy and is now opening her own place much earlier than she anticipated.
Yeah, so all of them. And what I mean is they took the time. They basically made
They structured it.
They found the time.
Yeah.
And I guarantee if you ask them, like, oh, yeah, I take this time to work on business stuff now.
Yes.
And
so
it
important.
makes the difference. So, a lot of you who can't afford or think you can't afford like a virtual assistant or a front desk person to give you more time, you can be your own person. You have to structure your day. So again, I want you the exercise this week. I do have a free content upgrade. It is the Sunday Night Business Meeting Agenda. It's going to be a fillable PDF that you can use over and over and over again to help you plan out. And what I do at the Sunday Night Business Meetings, again, I plan out my week. So I look at, okay, what are my obligations? What are the things
I drink?
Ceci drinks. And this is a private thing for me. So I check to make sure, I know what the kids are doing, where Evan's going to be, because I have to account for the husband, fiance, husband.
Food has to be done. Dogs fed. Everybody. It has to be quiet because you need to focus.
Yeah. And it's my time. So I'm like, go away.
And understand that here at the house, her bedroom has like a little office area. So that becomes her office. So it puts her in the frame of mind that she needs to be.
Yeah. The new place, we're going to have to work on it. I'm just going to have to kick him out of the bedroom, I think, and just work in there while he watches the big TV. Oh, darn.
I have nothing to say. I'm so over houses. I can't see straight.
I know you are.
We're getting a new kitchen soon for her, and she'll move out. Yay! And then I'll go steal the tiny humans to come back because it'll be empty in this house. Yay!
But again, it's all about finding the time. So the Sunday Night Business Meeting, the way I do it, again, I sit down privately and I go over what am I obligated to this week. And I also remind myself I cannot do everything. That's really important. There are just some things you just won't have time for.
Well, and there's some things I'm not talented at doing. I mean, like doing all the Facebook email marketing stuff. It used to be I'd pester Mona to do that, but now I've got Kristen trained to do it.
Yeah.
So find your little sister or little brother and pay them, $20 to do it.
It's going to cost you more than that.
I know, but I'm just saying, if
again, a virtual assistant, guys, you can get for 20 hours. You can get some. I pay mine $20 an hour. which seems like a lot, but it's a lot less money than a massage. Number one.
Yes.
Okay, so let's put it in the gear, because you're going to make more money, hopefully, if you're doing your business right, than $20 an hour making a massage. If you're only making $20 an hour for your massage, you're doing something way wrong.
Yep.
So that's number one, and that's when I say you can trade time for money. Yes, you can. You can pay somebody to do these things, like some blanket emails, some blanket things, some scheduling Facebook posts. You can choose to do those things. You have to get a roadmap. So again, I'm going to invite you. 6 Pillars, we're still enrolling. June 15th is when we officially start. You still have time to sign up. Go to spapreneur.com/episode. It was just 047. So spapreneur.com 047, and you'll have the link to 6 Pillars. You can talk to any of my 6 Pillar girls. They will tell you. I am not bragging about this, that they really
and also,
do stuff.
she some of them will post onto the overall Facebook page of their experiences. I don't want y'all to think we're blowing smoke up your skirts and shorts.
I just know in 90 days, I was transformed by those women. I was transformed. Because here's the thing, I did it to see if I even liked doing private masterminds. I had no idea they would get that much out of it.
Now they have girlfriend time.
Yes, now we have girlfriend time.
Oh my God, I gained weight and I can't stand it. And this bitch said this, that, and the other, and they get it out of their system. And then Beth in Texas just sits there and listens.
But she's so thoughtful when she says things. Texas Beth is one of my favorites.
I
don't have a favorite. I can't have. It's like
I was
going to
say Texas Beth is one of those, when she speaks, you listen,
because she's really like thought provoking and profound. Yes, she used to be a teacher. That's why she's so patient.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Exactly.
God bless her.
God bless the teachers. We need to pay them more. Anyway, spapreneur.com/047 is where you're going to get all the details to this and the free download for your Sunday night business meeting agenda. You got anything else, Ceci?
No, I don't think so. I think we're going to lighten up on the next podcast and give y'all some fun, juicy stuff.
We got some stories,
and
y'all.
But we really want to emphasize to you guys to make some plans to decide who are you, when do you work best? Are you a business owner? Are you a worker bee? And that's okay. That's okay. Somebody's got to pump that gas.
But here's the thing. If you're a worker bee, that means you need to make a decision. Maybe owning the full thing is not your thing. Maybe it's better if you're an independent contractor within a business like Jen.
Yes.
Like Jen is
Jen works her business, but
she's a worker bee.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
We could devote a whole episode to Jen.
We could.
Yeah. And one day we might.
We just might. All right. We'll see you later, guys.
Bye.
Need more actionable steps to get your spa headed in the right direction? Head to spapreneur.com, where we've got the tools, tricks, and methods to making your spa as successful as it can be. Spapreneur.com.